So I'm a really big Marvel fan, and I have been watching all the teasers and the trailers for Avengers Doomsday, and a lot of people have theories about how the movie goes, or different leaks or whatever, and I have watched the trailers over and over again, almost religiously, to because I'm curious to find out how the movie goes and the story and everything like that. And based off of the trailers and everything like that, I think I've put together a pretty good section of the movie pretty accurately. Um, so I kind of want to just share that. So while watching the trailers, I noticed a couple of things about certain shots in the trailers. I kind of wanted to start off with the stuff from the trailers itself, and I kind of made observations, kind of just to make a conclusion and put things together, right? So we have the clip where Doctor Doom jumps out of the ship, and he has his pajama suit, the one pauldron suit. As you can see, there's the ship behind him. It's in this rubble. There's fire, so this is clear, fresh destruction. And Doom jumps from the ship. And you can see here that there is a fountain of some sort. Okay, I don't know if you can really tell with the camera. I could turn the brightness up a little. Yeah, the brightness is all the way up. But there's this fountain, right? So you can kind of list the, ship, Doom, and then also fountain, right? Cool. This next shot, this is kind of based on interpretation. However, based off of what I can kind of see, there's still rubble. There's some sort of device that's going on here, or this is his hand. Honestly, this looks more like Doom's hand than anything. And as you can see, he has a silver glove. So, what I'm thinking happens is that he jumps on the ship, and Mr. Fantastic confronts him. I think this is after this because of the fact that the sun is hitting him from this side, and that's the side that the sun's coming on this side. But that's purely interpretation. However, what can determine, however, is that this scene and the scene with Thor are the same 30 minutes of the movie, probably, and also probably following one another and at the same place, because as you can see, there's fire, there's the ship, and there's the fountains. So earlier he had jumped from the ship down to here, and then he had moved. I also kind of drew a little map. So before, the sun was here, he jumped from the ship, and sun's more like back here, I guess, and there's a fountain to his right. In this one, Doom, ship, fountains. So you've got the sun here for some reason, as you can see, just based off of this, whether or not he's facing the same direction is up to interpretation. However, there seems to be no light coming from this direction. So what you can kind of determine is that there's a fountain there, there's a fountain there. The sun would be behind him if this is right after this. And Thor's there, the red. So the ship's there, the rubble's there, and everything like that. Now, a big part of my theory is the fact that this all takes place after Doom destroys the X-Mansion. And the reason I think this is because we've already seen clips of Professor X, going through the mansion with his chair and everything. And in this clip of Doom fighting Thor, if you zoom really in, there's his chair. That's clearly his chair. It's an X, it's a chair, it's fire. So I think when Reed says, "Did you do this?" I think Doom destroys the X-Mansion, and something is linked to that, which is why he's so upset, right? Especially because in the trailers you could see that Reed is one of the people that go to the X-Men universe with the other Avengers, as well as yeah. So, and based off of the trailers, what it's trying to show us is the fact that this takes place after he fights Thor. which could be the case or it could be differently, but you can see that there are Sentinels in the back. So, and there's Sentinel here. So obviously this is around the same place, which means that this happens after, not before. So you can kind of paint a pretty clear picture based off of all that, right? Now, another thing to note here is that there is this statue behind Doom, which you can also see in a certain frame. I believe it's the frame here, or it's another frame, but you can see it in a different part of the trailer. That's kind of just a different observation. Yeah, that's kind of just how my theory goes. Now, all of this is kind of centered to face towards this leaked battle image, which this came out before the trailers, I believe, and everything to it is accurate, including the suits, Reed wearing his jacket, also him wearing a shirt and everything like that. That's all accurate. So honestly, I think this is pretty accurate, especially with the certain Avengers that are on in this clip being accurate to the ones that are going to that universe. So I think that all leads to them fighting together. So this kind of puts together a pretty good section of the movie. Yeah. Based off of all that, we can kind of determine a lot of details in the movie, the order of them. Some are a little bit finickier than others, but it's kind of pretty clear. So what seems to happen is that the Avengers arrive on the X-Men universe, and of course they fight in the X-Men mansion, and then at some point the Avengers and the X-Men talk in the mansion. The mansion is destroyed somehow, probably because of Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom then jumps from the ship for some reason. Now, there could be a million things that happen in between this, not a million, but a couple things happen in between this to lead to this, or something else involved. And then Doctor Doom is confronted by Reed. The reason why I do believe this is because the fact that there's no way he could confront Reed after some sort of big battle, and also Reed is not clearly injured or anything, or scars or anything like that, right? He's just angry. And he's also clean, so somehow they were protected from the fight, as well as all the other Avengers, so somehow they protected themselves from all the damage, right? So then what happens is that Reed and Doom have a confrontation, and Doom fights Thor because, Doom did this, and so, Thor's like, and it's probably linked to something else, something bigger, and so, Thor's like, you will beg for hell long before I grant it, and Reed's like, did you do this? It's something, he did something else other than just destroy the mansion, because there's no way they're going to be, like, crashing out over, oh, you destroyed the mansion, why did you do that? Right? And then Doctor Doom raises the Sentinels, and the Sentinels fight the Avengers and the X-Men. So, yeah. That's kind of just what I put together from the trailers. This is probably 80% accurate. This is probably the order of what these things happen based off all the details. You can leave any comments down if there's anything else I should add to this. So,